Mustang channel, Mustang versus Mustang. And this is my 67 that I'm working on. And this is another video just kind of showing a little bit about, you know, how I'm prepping up and how I'm still going about painting the engine bay, or how I'm kind of going about doing this. So it is a long, time-consuming, very time-consuming process, especially when you're doing it by hand. You're doing it in your own garage or whatever it might be, it depends on the extent, also, basically on how you want to how far you want to go to prep it. So I've seen some people where they'll take the motor out and pretty much that's it, and then mask everything off and paint it. In this respect, I've done a lot more than that. So anyway, I want to show how much. So for the front end, I've taken off the fenders, and this is the driver's side fender. So took the fender off. I took off the this spring guard here. So I'm refurbishing that. That's over on the other table. So far, I've gotten some fairly good grinding and sanding down on the inside here. You can kind of see a little bit of what I've done on this side. And also, anyway, what I did here is I brushed this with POR 15, and looks pretty good and pretty solid, and this will never rust again. I did this right up in here where the cowl is. Also, it's where the water drains out of the cowl. So this looks pretty good and solid now. So I did this all the way down to here. So that looks good. And this front really looks good. So I took the whole front end off. This whole entire front end has been taken off. So this looks really good. And this was replaced probably at one time. That's probably why it looks so good. But I'm going to paint it all the same. And along with that, this side too looks really good. So I did the same thing on this side. I'm still working on scraping and sanding and all that on this side. So did the same thing here. So I brushed this with POR 15 also, and it looks pretty solid. Looks good. And this all looks really good and clean. So I'm just going to paint it all the same and have that done all at the same time. So it's just all a matter of prepping it and getting it ready to go. So, and I think that's it pretty much on this side. So, as you can see, what I do here is I have a lot taken out. So, what I'm doing is, well, the more you take out, first of all, the more you take out, the easier it's going to be to paint this, right? So the less you've got to deal with. And if you didn't notice, showing the fenders, I got Willwood brakes I'm putting in here, all four Willwood brakes, plus I'm putting in a power booster. So that's gives me a little more room for prepping, to paint in that corner, which is probably the hardest part or hardest place I discovered so far with that, to get all that cleaned out and brushed out. So still working on that part. And I can save the brake lines. The brake lines actually are going to be fine. I did pull out the brake line so that runs across the firewall, because the firewall, I want to try to get as clean as possible, because that's also the hardest part. You know, I've got a new heater, so, but I'm not going to pull that heater out though. I think that'll be fine. Hoses here are going to be fine, all that. So, and this side right here, over here, this is where the battery goes in. So, solenoid here, battery here. So this all looks really good. So, I also brush this PORI 15, these cross braces right here, both on top and bottom. So that is pretty solid, and it looks good too. This side over here, of course, I still got these wires here, and that's the only thing really that's going to be in the way. But I'm going to mask those. The only thing that really was on this side is the windshield wiper reservoir and the voltage regulator that's bolted here. But I don't think I'm going to have a voltage regulator here. Well, I'm going to have a new one actually. I'm going to probably go with MSD voltage, regular MSD ignition system with this for what I'm doing with the motor. And the motor mount brackets here are right here, so I took those off because I'm going to put new motor mounts on here. Motor mount brackets are going to be also new. So, you know, I've got it pretty bare, I mean, down to as much as really I'm going to do. And the main thing now is still getting a little bit more grinding on the firewall here, and over by where the steering mechanism is there. So it is manual steering, so I think I'm going to keep manual steering for a while, but manual steering is in good shape. And you know, it has a good sway bar, thick sway bar in here, and front end is in really good shape still. So show is some of the tools that I used. So